Siddiqui, thank you very much for that update from Pakistan. Staying with Pakistan and moving to Peshawar, now known as Pakistan's terror capital. It's the provincial capital closest to the restive tribal areas and the Afghan border, meaning it's becoming an attractive target for terror attacks. It was here that last month almost 100 Christians attending a Sunday Mass were killed in a suicide bombing. Our correspondents filed this report from Peshawar, where the war on terrorism is a daily nightmare.
As terror strikes Peshawar, its residents face a gloomy future. But for Mohammed Amin, it means more business. Just this month, he sold a record 150 coffins. Traditionally, Muslims bury their dead in a shroud, but Amin says that has not been the case recently.
The blast victims' bodies come in pieces. They need a coffin for burial. Sometimes the bodies are missing limbs, so whatever's remaining has to be put in a coffin. No one in my family wants my business to prosper. We all want peace. Our Pakistani brothers are dying in these terror attacks.
The Taliban frequent this city of 4 million since it is the gateway to the tribal belt, where many of such global terrorist networks are headquartered. Since September, Peshawar has seen its deadliest attacks in history. First, a church was targeted where more than 100 Christians lost their lives. In the same week, 2 more bombs targeted the civilians, killing another 50 people. Ever since these deadly attacks, security in the city has been tightened.
Come forward. Get out of the car. Show me your ID.
Police presence in the province has been doubled to 80,000 personnel, and checkposts have been set up at all sensitive spots. With the Taliban embedded within the local population, the police say anyone here is a potential militant.
We look for guns and explosives.
Is it common to find such things?
Yes, sometimes they hide them inside their shirts. Sometimes the explosives are in their shopping bags. We need to check them because the situation is really volatile, especially in Peshawar. The situation is really bad.
The counter-terrorism operations have disrupted the normal lives of Peshawar's citizens. A delegation of local traders has come to the police chief today, demanding him to remove the excessive security checks in Peshawar that are affecting their businesses. But for the police, they have no other option.
Have you shown him the daily threat alerts we get?
Yes, sir. I showed it to him and also to him.
This is happening daily, you know. 20 to 30 threats. We need the modern gadgets that the West has because we are fighting the same force who have modern arms and ammunition, and they have been fighting and sustaining against a Western army for so long in Afghanistan.
Despite the lack of resources, the police chief is convinced that the fight must go on. However, the ruling political leadership disagrees. At the Provincial Assembly session, legislators demand for a policy revision to deal with the Taliban. For this newly elected right-wing government, fighting the militants is not the sensible option any longer.
For 9 years, we were fighting the militants, under Musharraf's rule and then under the last government, but there was no result.
So what is the solution?
The only solution is to call a truce, to negotiate with them and invite them to the table for talks. Then you'll see results.
Observers feel the clear divide between those who are fighting the militancy on ground and the policymakers who want to talk has helped the Taliban gain strength. At this checkpost, the citizens of Peshawar have gathered to pay respect to 4 policemen who were shot dead by the Taliban last week. Unfortunately, such memorials have become a daily feature in their lives.
Siddiqui, thank you very much for that update from Islamabad in Pakistan. That's all we've got time for, though, in this edition of Asia Live. You are watching France 24 live from Paris. More news and headlines just after the break with Stuart Norfolk. Stay tuned.